It's probably happened to you. A long week of work ends, you get home, and the first thing you do is pour yourself a cold beer to unwind. A couple of sips are all it takes to feel like the day is finally over and start relaxing. That little ritual you used today to close out the week could be related to one of the adaptations that helped our ancestors survive. If they had never learned to tolerate it, our history could have been very different. Although we tend to think of alcohol as an invention of our society, science tells us a completely different story. Our relationship with it is much older than the pyramids of Egypt, and even older than our own species. In fact, it began about 10 million years ago, when a violent climate shift began to dry out the African rainforest. The trees no longer provided enough food, and our ancestors were forced to do something dangerous: go down to the ground to look for food. Down there was no fresh fruit hanging from the branches, only fallen fruit that had been ripening and decomposing in the sun for days. For almost any animal, eating that was a huge risk. The natural fermentation process created ethanol, a form of alcohol found in nature. If an animal consumed too much, it could lose coordination, reflexes, and the ability to react to dangers in its environment. But when you're starving, there aren't many alternatives. Those calories could mean the difference between life and death. This is where one of the most important moments in this story occurs. At some point in our evolution, a mutation arose in the ADH4 gene. This change significantly increased the organism's ability to process alcohol. Thanks to this, our ancestors may have gained a significant evolutionary advantage. They were able to better utilize the energy from fermented fruit that had fallen to the ground and access a food source that other animals had more difficulty using. According to this hypothesis, alcohol didn't begin as a vice, but as a survival tool that could have helped our ancestors get through difficult times. This idea is known as the drunken monkey hypothesis, proposed by biologist Robert Dudley. But evolution didn't just change our bodies. It may also have influenced our minds. To encourage the search for energy-rich foods, the brain developed reward mechanisms associated with certain smells and tastes. The instinct for survival disguised itself as pleasure. That's why, even today, we still react almost automatically. Simply entering a bar or hearing the sound of a bottle being opened is enough to awaken deep-seated associations that have been with us for millions of years. In fact, when we stopped being nomadic and began cultivating the land, some researchers proposed a fascinating idea. That part of the first harvests may have been used to produce fermented beverages even before bread became a common food. Experts even suggest that the desire to produce fermented beverages may have influenced the early development of agriculture and the first organized social gatherings. Alcohol came to play an important role in rituals, celebrations, and community gatherings. In a world increasingly filled with strangers, it helped strengthen bonds and facilitate cooperation. But here lies the great paradox. Evolution designs tools for a world of scarcity. The problem is that we no longer live in that world. That substance that may have helped our ancestors survive is now available on every corner, concentrated in forms our ancestors could never have imagined. What was once an advantage can become a problem when the environment changes faster than our biology. The next time you look at a glass, you won't just see a drink, you'll see the possible echo of a mutation that occurred millions of years ago. A reminder that we are creatures of the past trying to navigate the future. You drink to celebrate, you drink to forget, but also because a profound part of our evolutionary history still remains with us. If you enjoyed this journey through our history and want to understand more about why humans do what we do, subscribe to the channel. See you in the next video.